Hi, I'm XENA, and I'm Gabrielle. And today we're going to make one more film on this not for kids, for kids thing. But there's so much, it's a mess. Okay? It is a mess. First off, you have things that are. Ah! Gabrielle, Mom, I didn't know that was going to come undone. You bitch, why do you always do something like this? Not like I called it to happen, or I wanted it to happen. You get your fucking staff back in your bloody hand. Alright, and you got films that are on YouTube that you know are not for kids. You can tell. Now your hair's a mess. Okay, you motherfucker. Why's your hair like gotta be a bloody mess all the time? I don't know. Because stuff ain't flawless. Anyway, where was I? We all done now? Anyway, so you got films that are on YouTube you know are kid-friendly, or at least are kin-friendly. And then there are films you know are not kid-friendly or kin-friendly. And then there are films that, well, they have some stuff in it that might be kid-friendly or kin-friendly, but they don't. Like our films. Yeah, true. Someone from the Federal Trade Commission or FTC, whatever you want to call it, can come in, look at this film and say, oh, XENA, oh, she's name known. But a lot of kids like her and a lot of adults like her too. So then there's going to be a hang up there over how do they go by saying if the channel's good or not. The same thing goes for YouTube. YouTube doesn't actually know. I know they're putting together some tool that's going to tell them, but it's not flawless, you know. And hey, we have done a lot of things on our channel over the years, XENA says, that, well, they don't break any followership oversight or anyone's ownership of anything, true. But there are things on there that someone could say, not for kids, is for kids. Now, YouTube isn't really that bloody helpful when it comes to what's for kids and what not for kids. You read the whole thing, and it gives you a whole list of things, but it doesn't actually tell you anything. And then even if you want to talk to some lawman or some lawwoman out there, he or she probably couldn't even tell you what was for kids and what was not for kids, so that's not going to be helpful. And if you talk to anyone at the FTC, they certainly aren't going to know. They're just going to come in. They're going to probably look at the big YouTubers who are mates, the small YouTubers who are mates, the ones that are making income on YouTube through Google and whatever, the ones who are YouTube mates, the ones that actually have kids in their films, the ones that are actually doing kid things, you know, teaching kids, playing with kids, playing with toys with kids, singing songs to kids, or just having films with kids in it, either kid show players and stuff like that. Now, those folks are most likely going to be the ones that are going to get looked at, but the FTC hasn't said how they're going to go by looking at channels or looking at films or looking at fairways and how they're going to come up with who's right and who's wrong. Then there's talk about, oh, what if you picked the wrong folk? You mean like you don't? Well, I believe that the folks that watch our films, who have been watching our films, signed into YouTube, being on a YouTube reckoning, would be grown-ups, you know. Almost all of them. I think all of them. I believe all of them, and I know for a truth that all of them, at least the ones that got YouTube reckonings, are all grown-ups. You know, no kids. So go look at all the films if you want, FTC, if you want to. When January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, September, December, whenever you're going to do it. And you're not going to see any kids in it. You're not going to see anything except you're going to see us. You're going to see me getting mad and breaking shit. Yeah, true. And whatever. You know, Gabrielle said it's a mess. You're going to see fighting films. You're going to see my mother, XENA, getting mad and breaking shit. You know, you're going to see all kinds of things that aren't going to be kid-friendly or kin-friendly or whatever. And you're going to make a pick if you think that we're breaking the law or not. Well, let's be earnest here. First off, we don't have any way of buying or giving for any fines that might be coming, if any come. There's no way. See, we're not a YouTube mate here. We don't make any income from Google or YouTube. So even if you said that, oh, I think we should fine them because I think they're doing wrong, well, you would have to come up with truth. You would have to show truth that there were kids watching this film or there were kids following these films or following this channel, and there's not. You know? Actually, I think if there were anyone who was that young watching it, they would have left a long time ago. I think their bears and their razors would have gotten them to watch something else. So the truth is, there isn't no kids watching our films. There's no kids in our films. And even if you say dolls, yeah, well, you know, grown-ups buy dolls too, you know. And grown-ups also play with dolls and they gather dolls too. So it's not just a kid thing, you know. But this is a complete mess. Now we all got to be frightened that we're going to be taken down on YouTube. Or we're going to be frightened we're going to get fined. And for some folks, that might be a bad thing, but at least they have some way of income so they could give it to it. Well, how about the folks that don't have jobs? What about the folks that aren't YouTube mates? How are they going to handle being fined? How are they going to... I think we're safe. I believe we're well. Since we're not a YouTube mate, since our watchers are not children, but grown-ups, and since we have no kids in our films, we aren't doing no kid songs, no kid themes, we ain't doing anything with selfhoods that have anything to do with kids, anything like that, so I think we're good. And we don't have no sellers on our channel, on our Fairway, selling things to kids they shouldn't be selling. And we have no kids on our films, no kids watching or talking on our films or on our Fairway, nothing like that. So I think we're good. You know, I believe we're good. And we've been in good standing with YouTube for 6 long years, both for followership oversight as well as ownership law as well. So that must say something. So that's why we picked Not for Kids. But so we go and watch this film. Okay, Gabrielle? So we're watching this film with the Federal Trade Commission. I'm talking about how they got this new law, or at least how they're going to back up this law that's been around for years. And they don't exactly tell you how they're going to look at the channels. They don't tell you how they're going to look at the fairways. They don't tell you how they're going to go by doing this. And they don't tell you what they're looking for. Hell, they don't tell you. But one thing they keep on saying, or at least this one man who's speaking for them keeps saying, is that they seem to only be talking about fairway owners and filmmakers that are actually making income on YouTube. Ones that are YouTube mates, one that actually are doing that. Those are the ones they're going to probably go after. Those are the ones who have kids in their films, kid show players in their films, kid four beings in their films, the ones that got kids in their films, the ones that are doing kid films, songs, the ones that are teaching kids, the ones that are, singing to kids, the ones that have selfhoods that kids would like. Those are the ones that the FTC is going to probably be looking at. Those are the ones they're going to probably end up saying, yep, this is good, no, it's not. And I could tell you, the FTC sent a note right now to us, tell us everything about what's in your films. And we would be earnest and tell them that we never had anything to do with kids on our channel at all. None of them. And even when we go on YouTube, there's no way to know what the age is of the folks that are watching. But I would assume that I would say, believing, telling the truth here, not lying, that they're all grown-ups. All of them. You know. Since this channel was made for grown-ups, that's who our watchers are. And that's all the followers of my show and whatever. So, at the end of the day, XENA says, it's fucked up. You know, it is fucked up. Because you don't know. And then there are folks saying, oh, well, if you're not for kids, that means you're going to be answerable. For what? You'd only be answerable if you actually did do something wrong. If we actually were doing something wrong when it came to kids that we're not. Or doing something wrong when it went to children. If we had children in our films and we were, doing all kinds of evil, wrong, bad things to children, and we were, doing all kinds of evil shit, then yeah. If we had kids watching our films and we didn't know about it, then yeah. But the truth is, the ones that watch our films are all grown up. The ones that are following our films and our fairway is all grown ups too. Now, it's up for the FTC to believe that. YouTube, I guess, believes it. I don't know. They haven't said nothing. And it's up to YouTube to make that belief on our work. And it's up to the FTC to also make that belief on our work. But I believe that we're going to come through this good. It is what it is. And I'm just going to forgive me for this saying this now, Gabrielle said, but the fuckers out there who have been doing wrong to kids, the fuckers out there that have been doing all the wrong, who have been following this law, now make everybody else look bad. Yeah, you see, Google and YouTube fucked up when they should have been keeping all that stuff one zone. That they should have not been asking kids anything about themselves. So YouTube fucked up, Google fucked up, and Alphabet fucked up, and the FTC had to come up with some new thing, and YouTube said, oh, no, blame the filmmakers. Yeah, the fucking filmmakers, right, because it was us that were doing that. Sure. There are filmmakers on YouTube that are doing evil shit, I know. Then there are filmmakers who are doing good. And how is the FTC going to know the unlike between a good filmmaker who's following the law and a bad filmmaker that's not following the law? They're going to have to do some underseeking. They're going to have to look at every channel, every fairway, every film that's made, or at least from a YouTube mate, big and small, and every film they're going to look through, or at least one. I don't know how they're going to do it. And they're going to have to make a pick basing on what they see, what they hear, and what they believe. And they're going to have to read all the words on the film and all the words on the fairway, and they're going to have to ask a bunch of things. They're going to have to do a lot of underseeking, to come up with the ones who are doing wrong and hopefully shield the ones that are doing good and keep it where only the ones that are doing right on YouTube are around, and the ones that are doing wrong get the fuck off, because we're doing right, okay? YouTube asks you, hey, is it for kids or not for kids? And we pick it's not for kids. Does that make us bad? No. We're just being earnest, being truthful, being frank, telling you that our films are not for kids. That we do things, we say things in our films, and we do things in our films that kids might not like, or kin might not like. And we're being earnest with it. They're all up there. Every one of them, So it is what it is. So I just hope that you do a good job and you don't come into YouTube believing everyone's evil. That you look at everyone, and then you make up your mind from what you saw on the films and what you saw written there. And do not believe that just since we're dolls, that this means it's kid work or it's kid films, but it's not. Kids were never the followers of this fairway or our films, and we were never making film for kids. It is what it is. Last time I looked, my mother's show was basically a lot of followers of my mother's show are grown-ups. And a lot of those who follow this fairway and these films are grown up too. It is what it is. And for all you evildoers out there, Gabrielle, let me finish this off. Okay, sure. Thank you, Gabrielle. But for all you evildoers out there that were fucking around and taking the upside on kids and doing evil shit that kids you shouldn't have been doing, go fuck yourself. Alright? It's evil doers like you that's now going to bring the FTC down on us and make us all come off as evildoers when we're not. And if the FTC wants to look at all these films that we started back in January of 2014 to now, let them. They want to look at every one of our left words in our films or in our fairway, let them. But they ain't going to see no kids in our films. They ain't going to hear no kids in our films. They ain't going to see, well, they might see dolls. That might be the only thing they'll see. But the thing is that grown-ups, they buy dolls too. They gather dolls too, you know. They play with dolls too. And I'm sure the folks of the FTC know that. They're not that far out of touch as some folks believe. So let them look at it. Hell, let YouTube look at this too if they want. Let them both look at it. And they can both come up with a belief. But we know way there's nothing wrong and no kids. Our films aren't for kids. We're being earnest. The only ones our films were for are grown-ups. That's who we made our films for. That's who watches our films. That's who follows our films in our fairway. So Gabrielle says, hope you like this film. And hopefully next year we're still around. Not being bloody fined up the ass, XENA says, by the FTC, not being shut down by YouTube, and certainly not being sued.